Well, hello, my friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody is doing really good. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. We're halfway through the week. Hope everybody's well. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody has had a restful night after yesterday. We all deserve that. Before we get started, let me pull up our banner. I'm going to say hello to everybody in chat, and we are going to get busy. We got some things to talk about. So, it is Autism Awareness Month, and so while I am saying hello to everyone in chat, we will show this banner here, this little poster. Hello, Marina girl. How are you? Hey, TJ. Miss Rhonda. Hey, Brown Eyes. Hi, Brandon. Hope everybody's doing good. Hi, Miss Kathy. Let's see who else we got up in here. We got Magic Star. Hello. Hey, Bo. I got your message. That was really cute. Hey, Sue. How are you? And Dispatch Crystal, Bridget Blaine, Magic Star, Show Poodles. Hello, hello. Hi, Sue. Mari, how you doing? Hi, Cinderella in West End. Just Irish. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Hi, Blanc. Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. It is crazy, but we're going to talk a little bit in just a minute about all that. Hi, Miss Charlene. How are you doing? Hey, Dee Marie, YouTuber. Hey, Toe Kissing Queen. How are you? Hi, Senior K9 Mom. How are you doing? Goodness, we got a big house in here so far. Hi, Roxy. How are you doing? Well, hello to everybody. Guys, thank you all for being here. If you're in the bushes, thank y'all for being. I really appreciate everyone. So, well, hello, Pale Rider. How are you? Welcome, welcome. You know, I need to start my live today by apologizing to everyone for bringing that disgusting filth into my channel yesterday. I thought long and hard about bringing it before I did. And I felt like it was the right thing to do. I hated it. I really did. It's not what my channel's about, is all that disgustingness. But yesterday, the words that were said, as disgusting, as filthy as they were, unfortunately needed to be heard. I don't play games with them. Hi, Miriam. Welcome, welcome. I don't play those games. They can talk about me all they want to. It's not going to do no good. I don't care. But the words that were said yesterday, and I told each and every one that was listening at the time, pay attention to what they just said, because they commended him for saying those words. I reminded them that should Seth have anything to say back at him, they will attack Seth. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. While Josh, they were live streaming Josh's live stream, talking all kinds of horrible, hateful things about Seth, because it was wrong of him to do what he did and say what he said. I called it before it ever happened because that's the way those kind of people play. But that's the thing. They're playing. They're playing a game, guys. And Sebastian isn't a chess piece. Finding Sebastian is not part of any game. This is real life. This is serious. And I wanted to make that very clear. Hey, Cheryl. Because yesterday was all a game to them. It was all content for them. As horrible as it was, I hope everybody understands why I played it. Those were the words that needed to be heard. People need to see Chris Profit for who he is. And he showed himself yesterday. If that anger was so horrible towards people he's never met in person, could you just imagine the anger and the hatred that Sebastian had to live with? It's absolutely disgusting, and it makes me sick at my even think about it. But I wanted to put that out there before we ever did anything else. Because now I have to tell you guys, this is a game to them. They will go after anybody and everybody. And as they're picking them off one at a time, telling them lies and threats and showing them fake documents, which I know to be true. People they're buying it. They're scared. They don't want real life going after them. None of us sign up to cover true crime, missing kid cases, and to yet put our families in danger. But when a stepfather of a missing child says, you need to start sucking a shotgun, guys, it's bad. Because they will stop at nothing. And I want everybody that's in the chat, in the bushes, listening, whoever, wherever you are, and even if you're on replay, thank you for being here, but please listen. Because this is real. This is unfortunately where we're at. We are here in true crime talking about a missing child who unfortunately has a stepfather that has a cult-like following. What he says is okay, but it's not okay for anyone else. So we have to make a decision. Do we continue? I dealt with this massive times. But when I thought about talking to you guys and what I needed to say, this was the conversation that I had. This was the conversation I had with myself. I have promised Sebastian, I will not stop. I have made a promise to myself. I'm better than that, better than them, better person than they could ever be. Because they don't know how to be a good person. I will be here. But you, as subs, as members, as friends and family here, wherever you go, you're putting yourself in a position to be attacked. I just need everybody to understand how serious this is. And I say this as seriousness because when have you heard of a missing child's case when there has been so many lawsuits flying like crazy? When has it became not a good thing to be able to voice your opinion? We live in the United States of America, for God's sakes. It's our God-given right. We should be allowed to speak our voice and not be attacked. But the truth of the matter is, it's happening. Hold on. Ziva, no. Come. Get on your bed. Sorry. She hears the kids downstairs. Yes, Cinderella, call 911. If you ever get a threat of any kind, make a report. Stupid as it is, make a report. You heard the anger come out of his filthy mouth yesterday. That was pushed out with anger. People like that are unhinged. Whether he has a missing child, whether he's just pissed off at a person that is on YouTube, doesn't matter to him. A person that he don't know, and he's going to talk the way he talked yesterday. It doesn't bother him. And we're just nobody over here. To them, we're nobody. We're beneath them. So my suggestion to everyone is you need to make a decision whether you're going to follow Sebastian's case. And if you are, put on your armor, because at any time that attack could be aimed at you. If you do at any time get attacked, my opinion would be don't say a word back to them. All you're doing is giving them more content. Call your authorities. You let them know what's happening. You call their authorities in the state they live in and let them know what that person said. There is a thing as cyberbullying. And something's done about it, it's going to continue over here. So I felt obligated to have this discussion and give my advice to each and every one of you, because I feel like y'all are part of my family. Y'all are my friends. And we look out for our friends. I will be here. I will. I'm not stopping. But I'm also not going to play a game with them. They can say all they want to, and that's fine. Because I consider the source. I'm not worried. I live in a state that is well known for, I protect my own. There is not a problem in this home. Even my granddaughters know how to shoot a shotgun and have no problem doing it. So I'm not worried, guys. And trust me, where we live right now, we would see you coming before you ever saw us. I'm just saying. So, guys, prepare yourself. We're in for a battle. Shayna, thank you for becoming a new member. Look here, guys, we got a new member. Shayna, that's so sweet. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for that, and welcome to the South.
Welcome, welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Thank you, Shayna. Welcome to the Lollipops. Thank you, thank you. So, guys, y'all know TJ. It's fine. I'm good. It takes a whole lot to threaten me. Whole lot to threaten me. Some people just have words, and their words can't hurt. So, I wanted to let each and every one of you know we're in for a long ride. Put your seatbelts on. Put your armor on, because we are definitely in a battle. Good versus evil. It's what we got. But enough of that. We're done. Not worth talking about anymore. Hello to everybody coming in. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate everybody so much. I do have my email scrolling across the bottom. If anybody ever needs to get in touch with me, it's there. We ask that you, if you haven't subscribed, become one of us. We'd love to have you. You can join the membership. Of course, that's a great way to support us over here. And my Cash App and my Venmo is on the bottom of the screen there. Anything would be greatly appreciated, especially since I got a whole week to go before I get any kind of money. So anything would be very much appreciated. Yeah, Brandon. Not everybody's made for Texas. That's for sure. Oh, yeah. You know, now they're talking about, I heard today, how they thought it was very strange that Seth's sister decided only 3 days after Sebastian was gone missing, that they would need a GoFundMe. Well, folks, if that child had been missing for 3 days, that means his father had missed 3 days of work. His father was not going back to work till his child was found. That was his number one goal. That's where he started. And his sister was going to do that to help pay his bills. But they're turning it into, he knew it would expand very far out. These people stretch for anything. Oh, Laura, thank you for that. Look how sweet. Thank you. I appreciate y'all so much. And let's get Laura a little happy dance. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. We appreciate you. Oh, Reality. Get you something to eat, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. I am so thankful for each and every one that's here listening. Today, we're going to talk a little more about deception. I had this whole video I'd been working on, and for whatever reason, it wouldn't all download. But it started with interview with Jen Soto and Steven Stearns, because Jennifer Soto's daughter, Maddie, was missing. Her mother's laughing about little things as she talks. Steven Stern gets on. Looks like he'd been crying pretty hard. He wiped at tears that really weren't even flowing down. Telling the story about he just doesn't understand. It doesn't make sense. But yet we all know he didn't drop her off at school that morning. He had actually taken her out to the woods and killed her, or had killed her before he went there. However that process worked, she was no longer alive, and he knew it because it was at his hands. The next little clip that you would have seen would have been Chris Watts telling us how he just couldn't wait for his daughters to bombard him as they came rushing in the door. He went on to say other stuff, knowing damn good and well that his two daughters were floating in a tank of oil while his pregnant wife was buried not far from those two at his hands. Then we would have listened to Scott Peterson talk about how much he loved his wife, how he had told her about the affair he had had, but there was no bad, hard feelings. That he just didn't understand where she could be. Knowing damn good and well that Lacey, being 8.5 months pregnant with their son, was floating out in the water at his own hands. Next video clip that you would have watched was Susan Smith crying fake tears, dry eyes, as she tells how a man, as she looked to the left, jumped into her passenger side door while she stopped at a red light. She talked about how he made her get out of the car as he took off, and she begged for her kids, but it would have took too long, she guessed, to unbuckle them. And he didn't have the time, so he drove away with her babies. Knowing the whole time that she herself let her car roll down into a lake with her two babies strapped into their car seats. But you see, the stories they all told. They told with deception. It was a lie with the intent to mislead people, to actually cause people to go a different direction in thinking about what could have happened to those victims. We hear it. We've heard it for 14 months. We've heard those words. He ran away. I don't know why he went out that door, but yet that's what they say. Deception Detective did something yesterday on the mother and the stepfather 1 year mark interview with the news. I'm going to play that and we're going to watch that. It's not very long. He just does a small segment there. Kind of funny that he only needed just a short little bit because there was so much deception. So let me get this ready His link is in the description under the title of this video. Please make sure to sub up. Definitely, you want to stay in touch with him and listen to what he has to say, because he is very, very good at what he does. So here we go. Let me turn this off. Let's get this ready. Get this ready. Here we go, guys.
It was an entire year after Sebastian's disappearance. There's no really strong lead. There's no sighting yet. So tell me what you're feeling now. Here we are 1 year later.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly.
That's Chris and Katie Proudfoot, and I think they know what happened to their missing son, Sebastian Rogers. So in today's video, let's watch their most recent interview and count all the red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So if that's your thing, hit like and subscribe. For early access to new videos, exclusive videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. Now, even if you followed my channel for a while, you might not be familiar with this particular case because I haven't covered it as much as other ones like Madeleine McCann and JonBenet Ramsey. So here's a quick recap. Sebastian Rogers is an autistic teen who disappeared last year from his parents' home. He was home alone with his biological mom, and his stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, was supposedly out of town at the time. Despite a massive search effort in Tennessee, where he's from, there's still no evidence that would suggest one theory, like a kidnapping or a runaway, over another. So put a pin in all that because it's going to be important as we listen on. Finally, one last thing before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing Chris and Katie. In America, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But this isn't a courtroom, I'm not a judge, and we're not a jury. We have every right to form an opinion based on the evidence available to us.
Did y'all hear that? Let's make that very, very, very crisp and crystal clear. We have a right to form an opinion on the words that we have before us.
You don't have to be sure of your opinion beyond doubt to utter it, or does the evidence you use to form that opinion have to be admissible in court? In other words, innocent until proven guilty is a legal concept. It's not life advice. And to say otherwise is to delegate your critical thinking to someone else. Okay, now that I got that on the record, let's listen.
So here we are. So it's an entire year after Sebastian's disappearance. There's no really strong lead. There's no sighting yet. So tell me what you're feeling now. Here we are 1 year later.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly. The amount of ups and downs, the amount of like possible leads that haven't panned out. We every day, it's like waking up to this reality that it's actually real.
I'm not a deception detective, but I will say this. If any mother did not know where their child is, there would be unlimited words that mother would be screaming fear for her child would be number one. Terrified of who could have done such a thing. And Mr. Chris is just sitting over there like a Oompa Loompa. I just don't understand how a mother has a hard time describing the words to express her feelings. Teresa, thank you. Even if you're late coming in, we will excuse you. But thank you for being a member for 4 months. We are so proud to have you here. Here we go, guys.
And I mean, Sebastian should be homeless. I mean, he should be in school. He should be playing. He should be learning. He should be experiencing life. And until we can find him and until we can bring him home, we're going to keep doing everything we can to make sure that people don't forget about him. We're going to keep making sure that we spread awareness for him, and we're going to keep searching, and we're definitely going to keep praying.
Katie said they're going to keep searching and praying and doing all these things until they can find Sebastian and bring him home, which is an interesting choice of words. Remember, Sebastian's a teenager. She's not even allowing for the possibility that he might come home on his own. I would understand if the parents of a toddler like Madeline McCann or Summer Wells said this, but when the parents of a teenager say this, it could be a sign that they know something happened to the kid. That's why they're not even considering the possibility that the kid could return home on their own. The case in point, of course, is Madeline Soto, who actually went missing the same day as Sebastian and was found to have been murdered by her mom's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. What did he say? That he was never going to stop searching for her and that he was going to bring her home. Or if you saw my recent Scott Peterson video, you'll know I made the same exact point in that video. And in that case, it was even more egregious because his wife, Lacey, who was missing, was a full-grown adult. So it really made zero sense for him to say that she had to be brought home. Now, does this mean that Katie killed Sebastian or she knows for a fact that he's dead? Of course not. But it is worth noting.
You've told me you do want to stay positive. I know you both want to stay positive. That's all part of it. So in your mind, do you see Sebastian coming back through your front door? Well, he's okay. He's alive. He's out there.
I dream about it every day. I dream that one day I'm going to wake up and this is going to be a nightmare. But yes, I believe that my son is out there somewhere. I believe that we are going to find him. We are going to bring him home, and we're going to find a way to recover from this. And
Yet she doesn't say, I believe my child is out there and he's alive and we're going to get him. It takes her a while to even get to the future.
I'm going to watch him grow into a young man and, live the life that he deserves to have.
What would you say to him when he walked in that door?
Oh God, I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs. Honestly, when I picture that, I just picture being able to hug him, to hold him, to smell him. I mean, just to be able to hear his voice, his laugh, to see him just be with us and be okay is like I can't wait to see my son. I want to find him so bad.
Two more unusual word choices. First, I think Katie's only said Sebastian's name once this entire interview, which is unusual and could be a sign of distancing language. In other words, the instinctive mental block between a perpetrator and their victim's name. Once again, this is something we saw in the Madeline Soto case, and one of the reasons I was able to finger Stephen Stearns as the mother as being complicit in her exploitation. But the second interesting word might be even more telling, potentially. And lots of you have pointed it out to me in my comments or in the DD forum and on X. But I think it was actually Mike DeMann who was the first one to point it out. And that is when Katie said earlier, I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs. when she was talking about what she would do if Sebastian walked in through the front door. I've never heard that expression before. I don't think it's a common expression, and the use of the word bulldoze might be an example of leakage. And before you write this off as a long shot, just know that leakage is how I was able to determine Madeline Soto's cause of death before her body was even found. So why might bulldoze be an example of leakage? Well, Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, who was allegedly out of town when he disappeared, operates heavy machinery. And second, the police at least had some reason to search a local landfill for Sebastian early on in the investigation. So this bizarre word choice might actually be Katie subconsciously revealing what she knows about Sebastian and where he might be, because when she talks about him, this is one of the words that bubbles up to the top of her brain. Long shot? Worth noting? Yes. Let's keep listening.
You think he's coming home, right? How would you describe what you all have experienced this last year with so many unanswered questions still?
It's horrific, to be honest with you. I don't know how to describe what it feels like to watch the news, to go hang flyers in every store, every business, and still find that some people don't even know about it. To hear that there might be a lead, and then just to sit there and have to wait and find out that it's not him yet. And
it's pure hell. I mean, there's nothing you can, there's no words, there's no way to put how this actually feels. And anybody that can, I don't see how.
Lots of problems here, so let's go through them one by one. First, it's not hard to describe how you're feeling if you're actually feeling what you're supposed to be feeling.
Amen.
But it is hard to describe how you're feeling if you're pretending. In other words, if you're not actually clueless about what happened to your kid, it's really hard to describe the emotion you should be feeling if you were. In fact, it might be the hardest thing any liar has to do, and how we've caught so many hoaxers on the channel, because we always speak based on everything we know. So if you know something, it's really, really, really hard to talk as if you didn't know it. In fact, it might even be harder than the inverse, pretending that you know something that you don't, because there's more opportunity for leakage. And my second problem with this clip is actually a case in point of that. It's what Katie said when she was talking about getting new leads. Here's what she said. There might be a lead, and then to just sit there and have to wait and find out that's not him yet. If you don't know what happened to your son, how do you know from the moment you hear about a new lead what you're going to find out? Every new lead should be an exciting mystery, full of hope, only for a crash letdown when you find out it's not Sebastian. Not a waiting game where you're just sitting there waiting for the result you know is going to come. Finally, we have more distancing language. In fact, this might be the most egregious example of it. When Katie was talking about going into places and finding out that they've never even heard of Sebastian, she didn't actually say, I'm surprised they haven't heard about Sebastian or his disappearance. She just said it. And that's particularly disturbing because that's the sort of distancing language that we saw in the Madeline Soto case. And we do know now that Madeline was abused, neglected, and ultimately murdered by her mom's boyfriend.
There's no words, there's no way to put how this actually feels. And anybody that can, I don't see how.
Thank you, Holly S. I appreciate it. She said, acting skills, 1 star, would not recommend. You go, girl.
I mean, it's day-to-day life changes and you're stuck. It's almost like it feels like a day thing. It's the same thing over and over You wait, you hope. A phone call may come in, you may get something, may get a lead. Turns out to be nothing. That's how it feels.
What is that message? I know we were talking earlier last week. Tell me what that message is that you want to make sure our viewers hear from you tonight.
I want to thank everyone who is searching. I want to thank everyone who is spreading flyers, spreading awareness. I want to ask everyone not to forget, and I want to encourage people to keep helping and to keep bringing awareness, not only to our son, but to all of the missing children, because they all deserve to go home. And I would also like to say that if my son could hear it, that we love him so much, and that we
Every time she talks about Sebastian, her eyes go up. To me, that's huge.
are going to keep searching. We are going to keep looking. We are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Describe your hope right now.
If you saw my last video in this series, you'll know that I think Katie has been watching my videos and tailoring what she says in her interviews to match what I say an innocent person should say in interviews if they actually don't know where their kid is. For example, one of the things on my checklist is that the parent should address their child through the camera, because if they don't know what happened, as far as it might be out there, it might be watching. But the mistake that Katie is making here is that she's not actually addressing Sebastian through the camera. She's telling the journalist what she would want to say to Sebastian. And that's just not what innocent parents we've seen on the channel, at least, do. For example, Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological father, addressed him directly, multiple times. Nor does Katie do other things like plead for any potential kidnappers who might have her son to return him. And in one of the most heartbreaking videos I've ever done, we saw Michael Monkey Vaughn's mother do just that with someone who she thinks took her son. But Katie said plenty of other things here that jumped out to me as red flags. And since I want to do this justice, let's break here. We're about a third of the way through the interview. I'll put my last video on your screen now so you can check that out. If you want to continue the series, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Until next time, stay true.
All righty, guys. If you have not subbed up to him, you definitely want to. Joy, thank you so much for those sweet words. Guys, there's a lot of tell in body language. There's a lot of tell in word choices. This mother and this stepfather have not done justice for Sebastian at all. The words they use in talking about Sebastian has not been at all in any way flattering to Sebastian. There is nothing helpful when a mother's asked to help people understand who they're looking for, and a mother can't tell you anything directly related to her child other than his actions of what he likes. I know y'all are sick of me saying it, but he likes shiny things. And then talks about him wanting to pick up pennies and paper clips while they're at the store. So how does that help anyone if they're not at a store and happen to see him? their choices of words adapt after each time they do an interview. And yes, I agree. Katie and Chris have been watching and listening to all of us creators as we critique their words. Exactly, Dee Marie. She hasn't even used a recent photo. I think, in my opinion, it's because she's trying to distance herself from the vision she has inside of her head from the last time she saw Sebastian. Folks, we're dealing with people who are more concerned with how they are being treated, how they feel like they should be talked to, how they can't live their life the way they want to because of us. And because of that, oh, I just realized I didn't start my camera up. Sorry, guys. And because of that, they're pissed. They are pissed. I just say, how do you think Sebastian feels? Sebastian can't live his life, his routine that he liked to have. He can't have that right now, can he, Katie or Chris? I bet if you were to ask Sebastian how he was feeling, he wouldn't lack on the words to use. I imagine if you asked Sebastian to describe his mother and his stepfather, he would be able to tell things, wouldn't he? I say this, if for any reason Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is out there and happens to see this video right now at this very moment, I would say to him, you have an army. You have people that don't even know who you are other than what your father has shown us and helped us to understand who you are. You have your own army, and we're here fighting every day for you. Not your mother, not your stepfather. Your dad can fight his own battles, and we're here to stand and fill in the gap for you, Sebastian. And if at any time free and get to a payphone, they don't even have payphones. Get to a phone, make that call to 911 and tell them who your father is. They can find him. He wants you home. And I would say this to the people who helped remove Sebastian from his home between the hours of midnight and 6, according to Mr. Chris. I would say, you need to talk. That child did nothing to deserve what was handed to him. You are following an idiot. You are listening to people who are so concerned about themselves, they will throw you under the bus before they ever get close to the tires. There are people, folks, And I say people as in multiples, that know what happened to Sebastian. And though his mother and his stepfather can't seem to come up with the right words, there's plenty of us here that can find words. There's plenty of us here who have felt the pain and the grief and the fear of how you're going to live without your child. And for Sebastian, we're here. To anyone who wants to coddle and protect and just make excuses for his mother and his stepfather, have fun with that. Go do it all day long. Just don't put Sebastian's name in the title of your videos when you do it. That is so disrespectful to Sebastian. Because you see, those people you coddle have 5 CPS reports between the two of them in just a tiny bit over a 1-year span. Did Sebastian deserve all that? Did he? You can put out there that Seth had a PO put against him. Well, guess what? A judge thought it was stupid, threw it out, and then turned around and gave him joint custody of his son. Play it how you want to. Spin the narrative all y'all want. We're going to spin it the right way, with facts, with words that have been spoken, and we're doing it for Sebastian. We're not doing it so that we can get clicks and views. We're not doing it so we're in a popularity contest. We're doing it because Sebastian deserves justice. And we will not stop. Folks, I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. This whole story, it's been going on way too long. Of course, the stepfather says it can all stop if we would just shut up over here. It could stop if someone spoke for Sebastian and told what was happened to him. What has happened? Just say it. And for those who were involved, I hope you have nightmares every time you close your eyes. I hope you see his face. Guys, I want to thank you all for being here. Like I said at the very beginning, I'm sorry I brought that filth over here onto my channel, but it needed to be heard. It did. And from here out, unless it's a explosion like yesterday, we're not going to deal with it. We're not going to worry about it because they aren't worth worrying over, guys. I did hear court will go before the grand jury and let the grand jury decide if there is enough for a case against Betty. That's kind of what I've heard. Whether that's all truthful, I don't know. I do know Betty went live, so make sure to check out her channel so you can get the truth. In the meantime, guys, your armor. Put up your armor because it's going to get crazy. People who know what's coming will fight until the bitter end. And they will take as many people down with them that they can. And we're just going to sit back and watch it happen. So don't be one of their casualties. Because I'm here to tell you, there's people that are being told lies, complete lies about at night, about Sebastian, about Seth, about Hong and Nick. They're being told about documents and showing documents. And guys, those documents aren't even real. Erna, thank you for becoming a member with us. Thank you for hanging in there with us and staying family. We love you. Thank you for that. But yeah, guys, there's made up documents. They're playing a game and they're playing hard. They're playing hardball. Let them play. Let them play. Because I'm here to tell you, your day will come. The truth will always win. We're on the side of truth. And we're winners. And it's worth it. Just question is, and bring him home. Yes, Holly. Chris said, I'm the one that called your MFM parole officer. I'm telling you, it's not even a second thought to say those words that he said yesterday for him. They rolled off his tongue because it was so natural for that man to say those words. I could have gotten pissed off. I could have hollered. I could have screamed. And I could have done all the things. But I'm telling you, those words would have never rolled out of my mouth as easily as they did Mr. Chris's mouth. Wasn't his first rodeo, guys. I think we saw a side of him that probably 4 of his wives have seen before. Just a guess. So, I love you guys. Hang in there. I'm going to get out of here before I get my foot in my mouth and say way too much that I don't need to be saying. I'm still aggravated. But I love you guys. Stay strong. And remember, Sebastian is the reason we're here. We're not here to stroke anybody's egos. We're not here to pull strings. We're not here to make up lies. We're here for Sebastian and to find the truth. Hang tight, everybody. Y'all be good. And I will see y'all all tomorrow. Love and hugs, everyone. Good night.